Reason to keep going, reason to not give up, reason to take action today. Obligation. It's interesting reading Dan Buettner's Blue Zones, the happiest, healthiest, longest living people, and saying that one of the reasons that people live the longest is obligation to their community, to animals, to take care of things. You keep getting up when there's something that you have to do, right? If it doesn't matter to serve anyone, then that's when often people check out. So welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. Some thoughts on persistence to get what you want. Also thoughts on living longer and living happier. And I find that obligation is a pretty nice tool. People want to be free, freedom of location, freedom to travel and stuff like that. But I'm distracted by the sheep here. One of them is picking at some turmeric, which you're not supposed to do, but they pick at it. Yeah, taking care of the animals. Like, I'm sick right now. Talked about it a little bit. I'm gonna come back to this topic, or basically explain what happened later on. But I'm still showing up for the animals, right? Because of obligation. Hawaiians call it kuleana. Kuleana being basically duty, obligation. We get that in Chinese culture as well. Filial obligation, responsibility for your ancestors and for people in your family to continue. And that's how it's manifested often in these small communities, small villages, blue zones. People live a really long time. It's like an old woman who has a community vegetable garden to take care of. So she's going to get up every day and do that. It's also going to contribute to her being more fulfilled because she's doing something that's relevant and worthwhile. She hasn't really retired, right? And she's going to feel better for still being relevant, still being useful to society. It's when we have no obligations, when you're young and when you're depressed. It's when you have no obligations when you wonder, what am I supposed to do with my life, right? You have no obligations when you can actually afford to sleep and do absolutely nothing. And it's when you retire and you have no obligations that people drop off so fast, right? So there's a couple things that we can use from this. One of them is taking care of plants and animals builds obligation, and it will cause you to feel better. You know about animal therapy. Fuzzy, cuddly animals, take care of them, even when you're sick, right? Is a real thing. It's a real powerful healing. So I recommend having animals in your life, whether that's a pet, a cat, a dog. For me, there's cats and dogs around, but I hang out with these sheep. So, and that's part of that duty, obligation that keeps me going and also makes me feel good in the daily. But you know, it can be other things as well, like if your job's very important to a community, or you are running groups, organizations, then that's something where if you have full ownership of things, that's something where you have more obligation, more duty, and you show up and you stick with it even if you're not feeling the best. Whereas people quit out quickly when they feel like they don't have the most pull on things or the most influence, and that it's not important for them to be there. If you feel that it's really important to show up, it's important for you to live a long time, you're probably going to live a longer time than otherwise. So, story from me, I've told this in various ways, but y'all know, like, basically I read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, and was like, this could be a real thing, leveraging the power of the internet, automation, bots, delegation, employees, contractors, contractees. So why don't I create a 4-hour work week life for myself? And then I'll try out different things. I'm going to try reading and learning a bunch. I'm going to try athletics, going really deep in athletics and surfing, and from what I found is like that was kind of boring and depressing, and I felt a lot better and felt, I was like lost and searching for something because I didn't have an obligation to keep me there looking at what's in front of me, right? So it was pretty awakening for me to start to care for plants and start to care for animals and start to make commitments and make greater obligations, and that, I'll lose freedom, I'm locked in, but all of a sudden I have a reason to stick around. I have reason to show up. I have reason to keep going. And that's a wonderful thing. Well, humans are not meant to be detached and disconnected. We're meant to be tied in socially out of not just choice, but also obligation. And I think that's something that's lost in modern society. When people, you see, like, we celebrate in music and in various total freedom, but we don't really want that. Actually, what we want actually is greater connection, greater obligation. So for you, exercise, think about is, what do you feel you're obligated to do? And basically, that's one thing to look at, is the various things you're obligated, whether that's take care of family, take care of animals, take care of plants, take care of your kids, take care of your aging parents, take care of whatever, and take stock in that. If you don't feel like you have a lot of obligations, then what else would you like to be obligated to do, sort of work that you enjoy? Maybe you want to have a dog, maybe you want to have a cat, maybe you want to have a little garden or plants to take care of. So what is that thing? And just try it out, make you happier, and once you have it, it's kind of hard to get rid of, because the one thing about kuleana, they say in Hawaiian, I was told this by a Hawaiian, is that once you kuleana, you can't un-kuleana, so you got to keep going, and that's awesome. That's an awesome thing. So appreciate you, thank you, and look forward to hearing what you have to say. Peace out, fam, much love.